Hi, I'm Rosanna Kermis, and I'm a licensed designer with Sizzix. Today I want to show you my penny rug, circles, and tongue die, and all the things that you can do with it. If you're a traditional person who works with wool, you often know that penny rugs are kind of a staple for our style. So this die will give you the opportunity to make penny rugs and other projects where everything comes out just right. I don't know about you, but when I have to hand cut a circle, they never come out quite right. So the day I found out that I could use a Sizzix die cut machine to cut out perfect circles was like the best day ever. So that's why I designed this die. I wanted you to be able to cut penny tongues and circles so they look perfect every single time, and just to make your life a lot more enjoyable. I've used my my circles and tongues on this small mat that was part of the rug mat that we have and had another segment. So you can see that there's some versatility on it. But I want to show you how I went about making this little small penny rug, because this is pretty much a traditional look. So the first thing I did is I cut a 5-inch circle with a die cut, so I got this perfectly round center. And then to make the base, the larger tongue for the outside and the tongue for the top, and this smaller circle, I use the tongue and circles die. So what you want to do is layer up your wool for the base, which is the dark green, so it lays over the top of the larger tongue die. And then I've used 2 different colors to lay over the smaller shape. And you can see I'm putting them all on one die at the same time. And because I'm using some circles in here too, I want to lay my some smaller pieces over the top of the little circles. And if you notice, I've pre-cut some of my pieces so that they fit, so I'm not wasting a lot of wool. So let's just sandwich that set of wool and dies and run it through our machine. So that's really fast, and they're all perfectly shaped, perfectly cut. Now to make this mat, these are the steps that I took. I cut 2 for the base, 1 colored one for the top, and a larger circle for the tip of the tongue. One of the things about this die cut is all of the tongues and circles are designed so that they nest. So you can put smaller circles within smaller circles, and the circles will fit with the tongues, and you can see that they all kind of nest together. Now, when I went to put this together, I used a whip stitch, which is just kind of like an overhand stitch with 1 strand of floss, and I went all around the edge of the inner tongue. And then I used the larger circle on top, and I used 2 strands of floss and made a star, kind of like you would make a pie or cut a pie. It's done in wedges. You know, you cut through the middle and then make your pie shapes. And then when that piece was done, then I laid them on top of the base, and I buttonhole stitched all around the edge so that the edge was finished. Now, because we're going to tuck this set of tongues underneath the circle, I didn't finish stitching on the top. If I was going to put these on, say, a rectangle, I would probably buttonhole stitch across the top too, and then just anchor them to a rectangle. But because we're using a curve, it's a little trickier. It's harder to kind of match the curve. So one of the ways to do that is, first off, if I was doing this at home, I would have pinned all my tongues in place. But what I've done here now is I've buttonhole stitched 1 of the tongues, and now I'm going to just buttonhole stitch the top circle to the tongue, just using a blanket stitch. A lot of people who do handwork or wool appliqué are familiar with that. So I'm going through just the top layers, not all the way to the bottom, and just creating a nice finished edge along the top. When I get done, what I will do is I'll take that circle that I cut before for the back, and I will lay them together, and you can see here they'll be overlapping the tongues. So I'm just going to use a whip stitch and with the same color thread so it doesn't show, and just whip stitch that back onto it. So then I'll have a nice finished little penny mat that I could put a candle on, maybe a little plant, a little dish, something fun like that, or just let it sit like that because it's cute. If you were going to just use circles for a penny mat, you wouldn't have to tuck the tongues underneath. You're just going to anchor them around the circle, kind of like I did in these cases here. It's easy to do, actually very fun. The thing that I like about a project like this is it's relaxing. It's very portable. I've been carrying this around in just a Ziploc bag. So when I'm at the airport or in the doctor's office, I can sit there and work on them. And it's really amazing how fast you can create a project by just using these simple steps, using our die cut machine and the penny circles and tongue die to cut your pieces and assembling them while you're just goofing around, have time on your hands, and you're going to end up with a beautiful project.